What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some Hard House. And indeed, this is a track that's in that sort of late 90s, early 2000s Hoover, and in this case, it's Hoover mixed with acid, which I've mentioned in a number of reactions before. I really do like that. I'm still fond of the Hoover sound. You know, I got really into it turn of the millennium, right during the era of the Hard House I'm talking about. Over time, I became less into it, and I got more back into acid trance and acid techno again. Not that I ever wasn't into those, but again, Hard House sort of drew my attention for a little bit, and then eventually, like 04, 05, I sort of gravitated back to listening to acid techno and acid trance more. But yeah, I still do enjoy the Hoover sound, especially when it's with acid. In any case, the point here is that this tune, which is called Dokalis, though we're going to listen to the Marc Johnson remix, the original is by Frank Farrell, though I have to point out, it says that the remix, even though it's just called the Marc Johnson remix, it says that the production was done by both Johnson and Farrell. So, in any case, this is from 2007, so like, and that's when it was originally released. So the point is, like, it's hard house in that classic turn of the millennium style, but it comes from a few years later, so it's, you know, it's like still sort of like carrying that banner, which I love. Again, you know, I listen to acid techno, and a lot of the tracks, even if they have slightly different, you know, modernized production and whatever, some of them, especially, you know, by like Chris and Geezer and other people, they have that classic sound still. So I enjoy that this comes from a few years after the sort of burst onto the scene of the like UK Hoover heavy hard house sound. But yeah, bottom line, I obviously got it on Discogs because by '07 I wasn't going to physical record shops as much anymore. Not that I, you know, completely stopped, but over the last, I would say 15 years, since about '06, '07, you could probably count on, you know, you wouldn't even need both of my hands to count the number of times that I've gone physical record shopping, which, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's just the reality. You get older, you have more responsibilities, you can't, like, you know, spend days just driving around to different record stores like I did as a late teen and so on. In any case, I got this through Discogs, and I must have just been looking like, hey, you know, I still want to see, you know, is there good hard house in that style coming out? I don't remember exactly how this track came onto my radar. Regardless, we'll get to it. So as I said, this is Frank Farrell Dokalis, though this is the Marc Johnson remix. It says remix and additional production by Marc Johnson and Dave Parkinson, engineered by Dave Parkinson. Okay, I don't remember seeing that before, or like didn't really key in on it. So yeah, shout out to Dave Parkinson as well. But yeah, the Marc Johnson remix of Frank Farrell's Dokalis. And as I said, this has got Hoovers and acids, so, you know, put on your protective gear and buckle up, because here we go. As soon as I get a little fluff ball off the vinyl, that is. Or off the needle. The stylus, I know. Ferocity. It's got pace. Again, I don't mix hard house in this style as much as I used to, but I still have all the records, and I still will occasionally bust it out. Like, it's very easy for my brain to go back there. Little female rhythmic vocalization. Obviously, we got the bass line coming, so you're like, alright, what's it gonna be? How's it gonna sound? Dirty. I heard you pop. Acid's like, yo, I'm ready to rip. Rolling hard synth. Fuck off. interested in like buzz saw, like band saw acid. But there's still that lower one on the You're like, I thought you said there was hoover. The grind and grit of that synth line. It's like telegraph. Like binary code. I did say there would be hoovers, yeah. Those cymbal like moments when they pop into the track, they really stand out to me now. And they never did for like decades. And then like I started doing these videos and like I just hear the track differently when I'm just sitting instead of DJing. I don't know. And now menacing. Serious. Whatever you do, don't look back. The Orpheus thing, right? I love those though. It's like a old school like whoop like vocal right at the drop. Wow. It's everything. The grinding, waving synth. The hoover like serious stabs. I think he asked me to come back. I think. This track means business, it's not messing around. I like when they cut it up. And then again it's like telegraph like there's that little darting acid like whoa, whoa, whoa. The buzz saw, or the band saw in fact. say double dropping out into a tune. Makes me want to do a hard house mix, I'm not gonna lie. I have a playlist, Hard House Chronicles. I'm sure this is in one of the, I think, 5 mixes. I may bring that playlist back to life with a 6-part. I think part is the term that I use. Yeah, don't look back. Top tune, absolutely love it. The other mix is cool, but I do think this remix is the superior version. So yeah, shout out to Marc Johnson, as well as Frank Farrell, and what was it, Dave Parkinson, or I forget, I don't remember if it was Dave. But the engineering, again, Dave Parkinson, that's right. So yeah, that was a cool tune. Shout out to the label, which is Flashpoint. Like I said, it's cool that there was a label that, in 2007, after a lot of labels that had put out vinyl, throughout the 90s, or at least the late 90s, early 2000s. Because that like 2003, 2004, vinyl started drying up. There were some genres like psytrance where vinyl almost disappeared entirely. Other genres, some labels either just went defunct or went digital. So again, it's cool that like during maybe the low point of vinyl, because again, by like 08, 09, vinyl began a resurgence like within electronic music and then sort of the music industry more broadly. But yeah, like it's cool that in 07 you could still find a new record of this quality. So shout out to Flashpoint. Do let me know what you think of the tune. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.